last time we ended the session with Rigby's tavern getting exploded to bits, and a narrow escape out of the back of the tavern uh, down to the canal into your boathouse that you have yet to use with Rigby and Telda.
Yeah.
Uh, And yeah, you were sort of sailing off, and Cricket and Brody shared some whiskey to get rid of the stress of their adventures during the day. And that's where we pick back up. And I think normally I start the session with sort of an open like where do we go from here, but I think in this scenario that uh, Telda approaches the two of you as you know, are sitting there drinking your whiskey, de-stressing, and says, "I met the scientist, the one that was at the apartment with me, and he explained to me the process that they could, you know, put ghosts into robots. And my first initial thought was that it was like protection from, things because you can't touch the spirit inside the suit. So I thought it was a way to protect spirits with all the issues of spirits missing going on. And he took me down to the factory and showed me what was happening. And uh, he knew that someone that knew me was on to us. And so he escorted me back to my apartment where he and I lay in wait to trap somebody. And then he didn't have everything ready in time. So he went to an apartment down the hall and set up some sort of commotion. How he knew that you were coming is another question in and of itself. I I don't know where they have eyes and where they're listening, but I imagine here on the water in this boathouse that they can't hear us. So if there are any questions or concerns or thoughts that you would like to ask me from the information that I've had or gathered or seen, is this is probably the best place because once we dock and get off the boat, can't guarantee that every inch of this city is covered with cameras and microphones.
Well, yeah, what information did you glean from working with that scientist?
Uh, the process of putting the ghosts into the robots, it scrambles their uh, well, everyone's spirit has a frequency, I guess. It scrambles and jumbles that frequency so that instead of being the spirit that they are, they're just raw energy charging these robots.
Well, that's horrible.
And yeah, uh, yeah. The other departments that I interacted with in this place were attempting to recreate vampires because they thought that that would be useful to them as well. But the issue is that there is more to that than they have the information for. So they're seeking that information and they can't access it. The only other thing of significance is, well, I mean, besides the scale of this, it's uh, they have ridiculous amounts of space and these robots and machinations. I venture to say at this point, if their production continued as it was, they've reached thousands of these robots and they have room to produce much more than that. But the final thing that seemed important in a conversation I had with the scientist in my apartment was the reason that they were most worried about the two of you is a purple man that you came into contact with. They,
A purple man.
yeah, they said he was a man with purple skin. I I don't know if you know anything about that. But they seemed very bent out of shape about that concept. I don't know.
Oh,
Attempted to get a
we.
file and I failed.
Where did you attempt to get this file from?
The the manufacturing place. It was on a desk in the scientist's office, and it just said "Purple Man" on it. I thought that seemed strange, so I attempted to get the file, and then I failed. And then we were at my apartment setting up this trap, and he told me about the Purple Man, and that was a big part of their concern. Uh, I think maybe perhaps he saw me looking at the folder. Uh,
So, hi. So we did meet a purple man. When we went to the house that has all of the ghosts in it. There was the man who we talked to there was purple, and then we went down in the basement and saw like a demon or a devil.
uh, um, I venture to guess that it's because the number of ghosts kept there. Were there lots of ghosts?
Oh yes, there were tons.
Oh, so it is an issue of conflicting interest. This purple man has the ghost at his house and they want the ghost. I think
That seems to be it. Yeah.
maybe going there to the house? Because if all is. They want to continue making these until there aren't any ghosts that are not in agreement with them. Uh, so I would imagine they would go there at some point once they amassed a number that they felt could get rid of this demon.
Hmm.
At least,
Well, it's probably a good idea to go to the house anyway, just to see. I don't know, to see if we can maybe get some help taking down these evil robots.
uh, I don't know the workings of demons, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what they could do for us, but the suggestion seems solid.
Okay. Well, we can take the boat there and then go to the scientist people.
That sounds like a plan. All right.
And bring in this whiskey though, just in case things get stressful.
Uh, what what do you think of all this, Cricket?
Cricket's just gonna take a big drink and look at Telda and be like, I knew you weren't a bad guy. And they're just really thrilled that, they were worried that Telda had switched and gone to the bad guys. I'm glad you're on our side. But I'm ready to put this guy in his place.
Yeah. Hopefully, in one of those evil robots he's trying to get everybody else into.
Oh, trap him in his own robot.
Exactly.
I like the way you think.
You notice as this like conversation with Tilda ends, and you have sort of a plan. Rigby is sort of like guiding the boat and just staring off in the distance. And Tilda goes over and tells him like the plan, uh, and he snaps out of like whatever he was doing. He was just staring off into space, and he's like, "So I'm gonna need some direction if you can."
Yeah, definitely. Just come up to this intersection here and hang a left. I don't know if that's the correct direction, but I'm gonna give him directions.
Uh, I I imagine that you know how to get back there, and so uh, yeah, so yeah, you guys lead Rigby on the way there, and as you get pretty close to this place, the air around Brody gets really cold, and you recognize this cold uh, as Lord Skurlock appears on the deck of the ship.
Oh.
And
Hey, how you doing?
so much problems in this place. I've
Yeah, I feel
dismantled
you.
so many robots. I don't know what is happening, but when I became a vampire the first time, originally, uh, there was a demon that was responsible. And I have ears, and they are everywhere. They seem to
Well,
suggest that you're going to the demon.
the demon who turned you?
Uh, no, the demon that you've seen before. The
Oh, yes. Yeah,
demon
yeah,
that
yeah.
turned me is dead. Demons all have core attributes, if you will, that things that they care about. Mine was power, and as long as he could puppet a lord in Duskfall, he had power. And I did not like that. So I
Well,
found a way to kill him, and he is dead.
oh, good.
There is obviously more to every story, but this particular story, the rest of the little parts are not as important.
Well, we'll have to get a drink one time and you can tell me all the details. In the interim, yes, we are going to see a demon. And I can fill you in on what goes on with the robots too. So I'm gonna tell Lord Scarlock like literally everything. Just give him like the Cliff Notes version.
This is interesting. I think before fully seeking the help of the demon, as we are on our way there, we should try to parse what the demon's attribute is, because as much as it is their thing that empowers them, it is also their biggest flaw. They require it, they're not able to escape it, they're bound to it, and often make decisions based upon it. Is there anything about your encounter with the demon that you feel stands out to you as a indicator of something that's important to it?
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, that was so long ago.
I remember that we didn't see too much of the demon. So I remember that we went downstairs after the purple man. Was he purple or was he blue? I feel like he was. Anyways, after the guy in the suit walked us down to the basement or took us to the basement, saw the demon for 2.5 seconds. I pulled out a demon bane charm and then we got moved out of the basement. So we didn't spend too much time with the demon. The demon, or at the very least whoever is working for the demon, they seem to have a lot of ghosts. They have a lot of spirits just sort of flitting around their house. There's a lot of people that work there. um I don't know, maybe it is power or control. Because everything was very like proper and like excuse me, like faux respectful almost. So maybe it is control, but I'm not entirely sure. I would have to have spent more time with the demon, like to know.
Did you encounter any of the ghosts in the house? Did you? I mean, you saw them, but did you engage with any of them at all in any way?
Crap, I don't remember. Did we engage with any of the ghosts?
No, you did
I don't think we did. Because I feel like I would have remembered that. That makes sense. I don't think we did. No.
not. Hmm. What? Why did you go to the demon's house originally?
If I'm not mistaken, we were going there. Let me know if I'm wrong on this, by the way, but I think we were going there to see if we could get the items for Winky and Buck.
Oh,
And ended up finding out that there was like a crap ton of other ghosts and other items and stuff that we couldn't find.
hmm. Uh, so, um, out of I guess Skurlock character to recap a little bit to throw some extra things in here. Um,
Hmm.
the so you got there, you went to get the stuff for Winky and Buck.
Hmm.
You maneuvered around there, you encountered the demon. And then after you found the demon, you talked to the person in the purple man in the suit, uh, and he led you out of the door and handed you Winky and Buck's items. and outside of the door were the people who took the items, and they were all dead. Uh,
Right.
um, and I think we'll pseudo role play. You've told Skurlock this.
Yeah, I even though I don't fully remember everything that went down, my headcanon is that Skurlock everything.
Uh,
Or everything that I could remember.
yeah. So Skurlock, hearing this, thinks about the nature of a demon that would behave this way, and he's sort of cataloging through like demons he's encountered, and you know, uh, just going through like lists of things and thinking, and then he asks you, demons, when you come into contact with them, can have residual effects. Have you felt anything abnormal or strange since you've encountered this demon?
Yes, actually. I keep getting flashes and the desire to kill people. Um and I keep seeing like purple in the corner of my eye.
Uh,
But yeah, that desire to kill people is crazy.
what 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 about these people? Are they particularly significant to you when you encounter this feeling?
No, I don't know any of these people, but they do tend to be like hindrances to what we're trying to get done. Like using the scientist that Tilda was working with for 2.5 seconds. He didn't want to give us information and was making it really difficult. So I killed him by curb stomping him to death. And then when
I
we
love
were
the Brody's just so like matter of fact. So I killed him, you know?
yeah, I killed him. Had to get rid of that. And then in Rigby's bar, there was a person who was trying to hurt me and Cricket, and I got that same urge to kill him too. And I don't know. In either case, it's just people who really get on my nerves, I guess, by trying to impede what we've got going on.
Uh, Skurlock takes in this like information and is paused for a second, and he looks and says, "This demon is clearly one of wrath."
Oh,
And
lovely.
speaking from what you've told me, I believe you didn't encounter any of the ghosts because they are wrathful spirits. And Skurlock just looks at the ground, and the demon must have some sort of concord with these wrathful spirits that he has influence that they wouldn't interact with you in that space. But I suppose if you were someone different intruding on that space, that they would certainly harm you if it was not his intent for them not to. And as Skurlock says this, it weirdly unlocks this like strange memory of being in that place that you don't remember experiencing in the moment, but you suddenly remember now as he's saying those words. And you see the spirits there, full of anger, moving through all these spaces, but avoiding you and the people that work there and sort of hovering around there. And you don't remember seeing them before until he mentioned this, as if it was like something that was like just taken from your memory. And
Hmm.
uh,
Well, that's weird.
uh, Skurlock
I'm gonna
says,
tell I'm gonna tell Skurlock that too. Like, hey, so new information has come to light, and I'm gonna just tell him everything you said.
"Well, I think without you knowing, your exchanging of Winky and Buck's items are a contract with this wrath demon."
Ooh.
And that the reason you were allowed to move freely and engage with this demon was because the demon sensed the wrath you had against the people that would hurt ghosts and
Aha.
is embracing it in you.
Oh, this is a blessing, baby. That's what this is.
Uh,
This is wild. I don't remember agreeing to a contract, but if it keeps these ghosts safe, I don't mind that I'm in a contract.
uh,
How will I know when it's fulfilled, this contract?
this the as those words come out, you lose your sight of everything you're seeing, and you're seeing back into that room where the demon is inside those metal rings spinning around. And the demon says, "When all of them are dead." And then
Ooh.
you wake up on the deck of the boat.
Did I like pass out?
Yeah.
Ah!
Uh,
Okay. So I'm like a demon vigilante. Ah. I'm so pleased.
uh, and then Skurlock uh, says, "Well, to fight an army of these robots would require lots of help, as well as lots of tools to accomplish that." And in this random exchange, he looks to Cricket and says,
Me?
"What kind of tools would you think you need to efficiently break down these robots? I have been made aware that you somewhat single handedly took down one of these robots."
Yeah, he did.
um, how did I do it?
Uh,
You didn't you climb up onto it and then like rip out the back of it some kind of way so that I could get the ghost out of it?
Okay, so how could I do that more efficiently? What tool would I need?
uh, from like doing it the first time, you know that these golden panels, they're like gold around it, but then they're like see-through clear panels, uh, sort of plexiglass material that if you had something that could like either crack apart the connections between these plates really well, or something that could melt down plexiglass, both of those are your initial thoughts. Uh, then having that initial thought, you think gold can melt also. So in
So Cricket's just gonna shrug and be like, wouldn't turn away a blowtorch.
uh,
You do have a flamethrower, by the way. Just
Me?
saying. Yeah.
How did I get that?
When I got my lightning rod, you got a flamethrower.
I
yeah,
can't be trusted to remember things.
I put it in my inventory. It's in the notes
Proud of
in
you.
my notes. So that might help. I do have a question.
yeah.
Is it ridiculous to think that these robots might have a kill switch? Like a mechanical kill switch?
No, it's not a ridiculous thought, but from encountering them, uh, you feel like there is some sort of like other mechanical aspect that's like computer database, like online website type of thing. Because when you destroyed the other robot, there was like this frequency beeping emitter type of thing. Uh,
Hmm.
and then the other robot came and picked that robot up and took them back to wherever they come from. So you feel like there is a sort of like web of connection between all the robots and that they're connected to something. So that thought process would lead to, if you can find what that is, you may be able to disrupt all of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I'm gonna just put it out there. Like, if such a thing exists, like I'm thinking it does, it would be with the scientist who's in control of them. It would be with that scientist.
Yeah.
Okay, so likely we have to go there anyway, which is good. I'm glad we're on the way.
So now you arrive at the stately manor of the purple demon man, uh, and the doors to the manor open, and the purple demon man walks out and is at first very like standoffish and looks like upset And
Oh.
for a moment, he seems like irritated, and then he shakes it off and he welcomes you and says, "Welcome back. Uh, the path to destroying all of these robots and the people that would bring harm to spirits of this world is very close. It's very near. Can feel it. It's palpable in the air. The destruction can be brought from.
Yeah, that's actually kind of why we're here. Is it possible that I could talk to the demon again?
You are speaking to him.
Oh, cool. It's good to meet you. What's your name? Do you have a name?
I do not.
Can I give you a name?
If you wish,
Yeah. How about Wrathbone? Wrathbone the Wrath Demon.
that is an interesting name. I accept it if that is what you wish to call me.
Yay! Okay, awesome. Thanks, Rathbone. Listen, we are going to take out the person or people who are responsible for throwing these ghosts into these robots and like generally harming them as a whole. I was curious if you would be willing to help us. You don't have to come with if you'd rather not, but could I like call on your power if needed?
Uh, you see for a moment consideration to like a number of things, as if like a math equation is going on,
Hmm.
and then he stops and says, "What is the way in which you kill this scientist once you get there?"
Well, that's to be decided. I could curb stomp him like I did his friend, but my best case scenario is to throw the guy into one of his machines and let it work him to death.
I accept your offer.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Thank you.
and he looks at Cricket and says, "This world of ghosts and demons, monsters can be confusing. But, Cricket, as long as you know that deep in your soul they all can burn, the same as you can burn, you'll be okay." And he hands Cricket a card with a picture of just a fire on it and says, "If you need me, I'm always in your head." And the door closes and he's just gone. Uh, it's like,
Cricket's just gonna take the card and just like kind of look around and just be like, "And fire may also be with you." And then look at Brody and be like, "I don't like ghosts."
Sorry, man. Let's get you out of here, sweet. This.
uh, yeah. Uh, yeah, so you have met the demon, and as you head back to the boat, the shoot, as you head back to the boat, there is a moment happening on the boat where Telda and Rigby are talking, and you see them talking as you're approaching. They're discussing something in like lengthy detail, but you can't hear them until you get closer. But you feel like if you did get closer, that they maybe will stop talking, depending on uh, what's going on.
Can we try a sneaky listen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if you want to roll something for sneaking up and listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cricket do love sneaking.
Doing a sneaky sneak.
Okay, let's see. What could Cricket do? Action. Let's see. What? Ooh, I could prowl my way up there
Okay.
and sneak on in. Oh, nice!
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
I am the sneakiest sneak boy.
Yeah. So you sneak your way up there, and you overhear the like last bit of their conversation. They're discussing Skurlock and like what his intentions and everything are, and that they don't trust him, but that you trust him. So they're giving it the benefit of the doubt, but then Telda is talking about the process of killing a vampire, which is not something she explained knowing to you at all when she was talking to you. So you have to assume that it's not a thing that she learned from the factory and engaging with the, you know, people in that scientist's place. That this is just knowledge that she has from somewhere else. Uh, and then as sort of Brody gets into like visible when they can see Brody, Elda stops talking and just looks up and waits for you guys to arrive.
Hey guys. So we got what we came here for. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Uh, are we? We're going straight to the place then?
The place with the things and the stuff?
No, the place with the stuff and the things.
Oh, I always confuse those.
Yeah, the scientists.
All right. Rigby sort of untethers the boat, and you guys set off. Cricket, do you take the time to tell Brody what you heard?
Oh yeah.
What does Brody think about?
Fine. I mean, I get it, because this is like my vampire friend. But I don't know, like the way that they feel about Skurlock is slick the way that I feel about Tilda. Like for obvious reasons. Like, I don't know, Skurlock can appear wherever he wants to, but for 2.5 seconds, Tilda was working with the other side
Yeah.
in not the best way. So like no shade to Tilda. I'm like looking at her a little like I'll do a double take, So I mean if I am willing to work with Tilda because Cricket trusts Tilda. So if Tilda trusts Cricket, then they're gonna have to be okay with working with Skurlock too.
Okay. Uh,
So it's okay.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. As the boat goes down towards the warehouse, a robot is like walking down the street on the like down the street doing its normal announcement. The reconciliation is here. Everyone get inside. But no one is outside. Uh, and this seems to be like some sort of strange occurrence as you're passing it because you remember when no one was outside that the robot sort of just stood stationary at the corner and didn't do anything by your house, that the robot was just out there hanging out. Whereas this robot is like walking and telling people to get inside. And then it occurs to you the concept of maybe the robot is malfunctioning, or maybe it's a person that you can't see, but the robot can see it. And the robot crumbles to the ground into like parts and bits, and you see the ghost come out of the suit and sort of fly off. And in like this is bullet time essentially. You see all this happening, and then Skurlock appears beside you. They are fairly easy to dismantle with sheer strength. I have been taking out all the ones I've encountered.
Well, do you have any vampire homies that can take on some of these robots? Because all of y'all could get down like that. But I mean, I'm hoping that we can find a kill switch and just take them all out at once. But okay, I think here's the deal. We just saw a ghosty fly out of one of those suits. Like you see that heap of metal over there that used to be a robot. And it kept repeating itself. Like the reconciliation is here, everybody get inside. It kept repeating itself, but there's nobody outside. So I mean, it's possible that it like malfunctioned. Either that, or maybe the ghosts can fight back from within the machine.
That is a possibility. Well, so from what Telda said, and you notice Telda immediately is just like taken completely off guard by the fact that he heard something that Telda said,
Mm.
and it scrambles the frequency of the ghost, and that's how it charges this machine. So it's possible that distinct waves, if you will, keeping on this frequency concept, are strong enough to imbalance the machine and cause it to not work. Which, if there isn't a kill switch, as you say, it's possible that generating enough electroplasmic activity in an area could disable them as well due to imbalancing the frequency in a different way than the machine intends it to be.
Okay. So we've got some options. We've got at least three. I kind of want to examine. Can I examine the fallen robot?
Sure. Rigby looks and says, if you're gonna jump off, do you want me to like slow down so you can catch up, or keep going at the same speed?"
Oh, I thought we were there already. Never. Yeah, just slow down and I'll catch up.
Okay. He sort of brings the boat down to a creep, and Skurlock goes with you over to the robot, and what you see is just this like heap of parts, and there are like distinct signs on the plexiglass pieces
Mm-hmm.
of like electrical burns, like it was like melting the inside of the plexiglass. But they're like disparate. They're like all over the place, like little spots of like burnt uh, electric burns. And Skurlock looks at it and says, "This seems to suggest that my hypothesis is correct, that the frequency was broken as the waves got out of control and the ghost was able to free itself." Skurlock
Mm-hmm.
puts like a hand up into the air and says, "I think the only answer is to ask the ghost themselves." And
Yeah.
the this is the first instance in this game, I guess, that you've encountered Skurlock using any sort of like powers of other than just typical like he's fast, strong vampire man. And you see these like cascades of like crimson red light around his fingertips, and then
Mm-hmm.
the ghost appears in front of you, and
Oh.
Skurlock stops and says, "I have no intention of hurting you. You were trapped in the robot, and I want to know how you got out." The ghost looks at Skurlock and says, "It was I I was scrambled and jumbled, and I wasn't myself at all. And then something was in front of me. I could see it. It's like a gold light, an outline of gold, and the instincts of programming of the scramble kicked in. But weirdly, I could see it, I could feel it and understand it. Whereas in the scrambled state that I was in, I wasn't perceiving anything. I was just looping through painful shifts in electrical frequency and not really engaging in anything. But this gold light took me out of the continual shifts, and the programming that was put into this robot triggered and chased the thing. And as soon as it caught it, I felt like just myself rematerializing inside of this robot, and I burned my way out of it. And I ran as far as I could go. I didn't want to be anywhere near these things because I I don't want to be near them. And you hear the beeping start.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for the information. Stay safe. Stay away from that scientist if you can.
I nowhere near him unless it's out of my hands. will avoid him at all costs.
Good. And thank you for your help. Skurlock, we should probably go. I don't know how far the boat is from.
Uh, the boat isn't very far. You run up and you can sort of jump off like a ledge onto the boat.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, in as you're sort of turning the next corner out of the back of the boat, you can see the robot arriving at the scene of this like damaged robot. And this time, instead of picking it up and like bringing it back, it's like thoroughly examining it. And
Mm.
I'm gonna have you roll either I don't a study or a survey.
Study or survey.
Yeah.
I'll do survey and I'll push myself
Okay.
because I only get 1 dice.
All right.
Okay.
You got this.
Yay. Okay, that's not bad.
As you are looking at the robot, you remember the when the ghost was in the robot and was following you, it like formed a face that was talking to you.
Mhm.
This time the face looks like a like digital rendering of like an image of a person that's like being recorded on a computer. And for the first time you see the scientist's face.
Oh.
He has these thick like square glasses, and he has like patchy gray hair. It looks like he's like losing it in spots. And he's sort of, his chin isn't very strong. Not a blocky chin, but sort of a it has like the idea of like being like a squared off chin, I guess. That's what I'm trying
Mhm.
to say, but it's not like definitively blocky. And you see him looking through the eyes of this robot and examining the robot on the ground. And as part of the mixed success here, he looks up and sees the boat turn the corner. And yeah,
Cool.
that's that. That's that cool, fun interaction with the guy. And yeah, you continue on down the canals to the outside of the. I've called it so many names now. I'm gonna call it a warehouse. I'm gonna stick with warehouse. You get to the outside of the warehouse. This big giant building, uh, and Telda says that's the place. And there are more departments in this place that I didn't go to, but I don't know what they're for or what they do. And Skurlock chips in and says, "There's a whole division dedicated to killing vampires here."
Hmm.
And Telda again looks at Skurlock like, is, uh, why is he doing this? And is just shocked looking at Skurlock. And uh, you see a portion of the warehouse catch fire.
Whoa.
Uh,
Like all of a sudden, just like
yeah.
Gee
And
whiz.
Skurlock looks at Telda and says, "There was a division dedicated to killing vampires."
Well done. Well done, Skurlock.
And he says, "You asked if I had any more vampire friends. I do. None of them as old as me. Uh, some are fairly young as well, in terms of being a vampire, not in age.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, they were ghosts that came to me and longed for physical form, as I once did in my horrible manner that I died in." And you see Skurlock like visibly leave like this place and is sort of like looking around like a place. It looks like he's like in that place looking around, and then he snaps out of it and says, "This is it. I hate to say that their intent is worthwhile, but their method is not."
Yeah. I mean, like, I get the intention, but the execution is just absolutely horrible. Like, it's so bad.
And he sort of looks at the place and says, I think I can help with one more thing.
Yeah?
And he says, it'll take me time, so I will be gone. But there are demons that the regular people refer to as leviathans that are out there in the seas beyond the lightning barrier. There are hunters that kill them
Okay.
and collect their blood, and that is what powers the lightning barrier and all of the city.
Oh.
This demon blood is what gives us electricity. And I thought if I could collect some of this, that we could use it to create what I was saying, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
electroplasmic.
electricity.
Yeah, to help with shutting down some of the robots. I would have to collect it though, and seeing that I am the fastest out of everyone here, I think it would be
Yeah.
best that I go. But if you want me to stay and help you up front here, I can do that as
No.
well.
Listen. How about go and get the blood, like the demon blood? Um and on your way back, if possible, bring reinforcements because we'll be deep in the middle of whatever it is that we have to do.
Okay, I can do that.
Yes.
Uh,
Yay! Thank you.
and Skurlock sort of lingers for a second, looking at the burning building, and then disappears. It from just glancing at him in that like moment, looking at the building, you see that it is a deep like offense that existed. Like there was a place to kill vampires. Uh,
Right, that is pretty rude.
and
Like,
and yeah, so like there's that moment he lingers looking at it burning and then just disappears.
cool.
Telda says their eyes and ears at the tavern didn't know that I was there, and we've been on the boat ever since.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I go back to them as if I've returned after you've murdered the scientist, which being upfront, I kind of wish you told me, but I heard it in your conversation with Skurlock. Um, uh,
Sorry.
and I'm glad you did, because, yeah, that's great. But I wonder if I should go ahead of you, as if I'm running from my failed attempt to capture you and, state that you're on the way. And
I like that.
I think it would be useful because if they think that you're like still there at the, apartment trying to figure things out, then maybe they won't be as ready, if you will.
Right. I mean, what do you think, Cricket? I think it's a good idea.
Cricket's following your lead on this. All the ghosts and vampires and spooky things are still out of his realm. Um, so for this whole adventure, Cricket's following your lead. If you think it's a good idea, he'll back you up.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm not a ghosty boy. I'm a
Uh,
sneak,
yeah.
and yeah.
So Telda jumps out of the boat, and you see Telda sort of do a lap around the block a couple of times. And at first it seems strange, but then Telda passes you again and says, "Gotta look like I was running," and and then runs ahead towards the factory. And then
So is it a straight shot? Like, can we see her all the way up?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
and then Rigby is like, I'm gonna stay here in the boat because someone
Yes,
should have
please.
this ready to go when we need to go.
Yeah, please
And
do.
also, giant robots with ghosts are not a thing that I'm accustomed to dealing with as a person who sells beverages and food.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's okay. It's okay to be just you know?
and he goes underneath the boat down into the like regular quarters that are down underneath. And it's like before he goes through the door, he's like, "Whenever you're ready, I'll have the boat set to go. And
Awesome.
yeah, he goes down there, and you see that the fire from that section starts to spread a little further into the building, and as it does, the like sky fills with this like blackish gray smoke, and you see Telda reaches the factory and opens the door, and the last thing I'm going to leave you with is the moment Telda goes through the door,
No.
uh, you, Brody, you get that purple flash again. Except for this time, you're looking at the computer again, and you see that login, the school login, and
Mm-hmm.
it says Delta 642, Duskfall University, and
Mm-hmm.
then the letters start to rearrange in the word Delta, and you see it, Telda,
Telda.
and yeah, that's where we're gonna leave. That's where we're gonna
Oh
leave
no,
this.
is she a bad guy?